Experience is the best teacher when it comes to acrylic pouring. I am doing the experiment for you, but you have to take those paints out and pour. So it doesn't matter what you have, because today I'm going to show you some of the thinnest paint versus some of the thickest paint. Now let's do it! Woo! I hope you all have been enjoying this series where we are conducting experiments, and today we're going to continue that trend. So what I'm doing, I am lining up our showdown, if you will. Today we are going to compare a straight pour using our thick house paint. If you haven't seen the results from my previous experiment, here is the link. It's also in the description box. Go ahead and check that out. You can see we compared 5 different pouring mediums, and many of you all wanted to see the house paint again, including myself. And so here we go. So we have these 3 colors. I have mixed off camera to match exactly. I'm so happy. I'm actually going to be showing you how to make your own colors match exactly in my course that's coming out. But look, I made this out of acrylic paint to match the premixed paint. So we're going to use a thin premixed paint today to see how it measures up against the house paint in doing a straight pour. I mixed these colors off camera for the sake of time, but I'm going to mix this one on camera. So I'm going to make this exact color. 2-to-1 ratio. I'm using the same house paint that I used in my previous video, which is the Valspar Ultra Base C. Okay. 2-to-1 ratio. 2 parts of our pouring medium and 1 part paint. I want to see if I have the color right first, then we'll add more to get to our 2-to-1 ratio. So it's definitely very blue. I need it to be a bit more muted to match this, and a little more green. So I'm going to add some more white. Oh, we're getting very close. So exciting. The consistency is definitely there. Now, camera, this is a little more blue. But we're like almost there. We just need a little more white. All right, so check this out. This is how I test my colors. I squirt just a little bit in here, and look, you can't even tell the difference. So we've matched our colors perfectly, and now we're ready to pour. So to create this color, just a little recap for you. I used the majority of my light blue permanent. This is a Master's Touch brand. But then I also added what was left of my aqua green as well as my turquoise green with a dab of titanium white paint. To make this color was actually pretty easy, probably because I use teals and blues so much. They're like some of my favorite colors. The first thing I did to get the iridescent and vibrancy was I mixed pearl turquoise and pearlized crystal blue together. And then I added my phthalo green, which is a transparent, which is important because this is like, it's opaque, but it has a little bit of transparency to it. But this got me the right color. Then I needed to make it darker, and I added a dab, and I mean a very small dab of Prussian blue, and I got my beautiful teal turquoise color here. Now we're going to do the same test, and just so y'all know that it's real. And I mean, this is spot on. Look at that. Cannot tell the difference at all. Just a little more mica, but I can add a little more to make it match perfectly, but the color is just perfect. It's spot on. Okay, I'm going to layer my cups the same way. And we're going to alternate. Here's my house paint. It has thickened up some. Leaves that good mound on the mound. So we're alternating between iridescent paints or pearl paints, paints with mica, the sparkly kind, versus opaque paints. So we've done a double layer, and now we're going to do the same for our premixed paints. All right. So you can see it's very thin. All right, so we're going to set our pre-mixed paints. Let's actually pour our pre-mixed paints first. They're thin, and I'm afraid that they might sink faster. So we're going to move our house paint to the side, and we're getting ready to pour. Going to put a little bit of the gold down to get our cup started. And we're doing a straight pour, so we're just going to pour the paint out of the cup. Now, this is a lot of paint, and it's very thin, so I do expect it to go over the canvas. Okay, that's pretty. That's really pretty. We have some small air bubbles that have popped up. Gonna do a quick torch. And I normally tilt, but some of you asked me why don't I ever spin. I'm gonna spin today. I have a lot of paint and I think we'll be able to get to our edges. All right, so let's just do a gentle spin. And as you can see, I mean, just one light spin and that's all it took. And, ooh, I've never seen a reaction like this before. We're getting some reaction of our paints. I've never ever seen a reaction like this. And to be recording it live is very interesting. This is really cool, very different. But it's almost like the binders in one of the paints is breaking up and giving this reaction when they mix together. And it's kind of happening here. Although the colors are still well defined, you can see that they are mixing some. And we're going to do one more baby spin. And this is definitely giving me Albuquerque, Santa Fe, New Mexico vibes. Shout out to my friend Britta Clayton. I went to New Mexico last year and just fell in love with New Mexico. And this is definitely giving me New Mexico vibes. I'm not sure if like what's happening with the paint and why it is reacting this way. It is cool, but I'm very intrigued to see how it's going to dry. And I still have some more air bubbles popping up. Not sure if you can see those. I'm going to pop them. One more quick torch. That's probably from when we shook the paint up to mix it. Okay, family, we are ready for our second cup. And just like we did the first time, just a little gold in the center. Remember I told you in the previous video, sometimes a particular color will just be thicker than the rest. But here we go. Okay, very pretty, very thick. With the house paint, I think you're gonna need to add water. Just because like the properties are different, and I don't paint. I don't do straight pours with house paint, so this is like I'm doing the experiment for y'all, but I'm learning in the process. But my goodness, look at that gradient change. That is gorgeous. This is really, really pretty. But we're gonna have to add some some paint to get this thing to move like we need it to move, baby. So I'm trying to save on some time, so I'm just gonna mix the leftover of my colors together so we can use this as a flow extender. Okay, really pretty, but really hard to get the coverage that I need. Let's spin again. So, wow, this is a lot of learning. Definitely gonna need to thin out the house paint. It's just too thick. It's too thick, kind of like our glue. So we need some element of water. Probably a 20%, 20 to 30%. But this is really pretty. If I could get that one corner, I would be happy. And some of you may know this trick. You want to move the canvas to the side where you want the paint to fly off, which isn't really working so well in this case just because the paint is so thick, but it's slowly but surely coming off. I don't want to tilt it because it kind of skews a little bit of the experiment, but there's a lot of paint on the canvas. One more spin. And that did it. That definitely did it. And voila. Do you believe in magic? Well, not really magic because you guys made it with me, but wow, baby. Okay, so look at the gradient change, which that is actually similar to the look that we had in our premix paints, but for me, thicker is better. You can achieve a straight pour with thin paint. But just knowing going into all of this that there's not a one size fits all. You're going to have different things to think about and to consider. Just like these air bubbles, if I had mixed the paint yesterday and let it sit, we probably wouldn't have nearly as many. But I think it's gorgeous anyway. I might actually keep this little piece. But let me get you in for a close-up and a final comparison. Oh, I love that edge. You can see all the colors are still well defined. Okay, so here's a side by side, and I'm slightly putting my foot in my mouth. And the reason I say that is these both look good. There's definitely a preference. Like, I cannot get enough of this. This is what I live for. I love the rings or the fingerlings. I love the gold and how it fades into the blue. But the gold fades into the blue here, and I love this. This is like a fall I don't know why fall just comes to my mind, but like a really cool sunset. And it kind of comes down to preference. Like, would I like a 20 by 20 of this hanging on my wall? Absolutely. But I wouldn't mind this either. Now, this may have just been something bizarre or something going on with the teal for this to happen. But even with that looking kind of washed out and like the paint is being eaten, that still looks cool. So, yeah, like I'm at a little bit of a crossroads, and I'm like over the moon excited about this experiment. One, because you all have been sending the nicest messages and comments about just how inspired you're feeling, and very appreciative that I've done these experiments. But for me, that gives me joy and satisfaction. But also, I'm just glad that I'm able to inspire. Now, can we have a real heart-to-heart moment? Could y'all please share my videos and like them and comment? The more engagement I have, the more subscribers I can get. Like, it's hard out here. Like, these projects cost money. You all know that, but it is a plea. Please continue to watch my videos. But anywho, ladies and gentlemen, our paintings are about 100% dry. And here are the results. Let's talk about this thing. So here we have both paintings. They are about 90% dry. It took forever for them to dry. As you can see, things turned out pretty favorably for our house paint. Really pretty. Nothing really changed. Some more bubbles continue to pop up in the paint. But I would keep this. This is really pretty. I really love these colors. But we definitely need to add some water to the flow because the flow was just ridiculous. It took way too long. You can't really see the shine good, but it has a very good sheen. It has about a natural matte finish, or satin, excuse me, not matte. Now, I am kind of surprised, not really, that we had some drying issues, not only because of the paint that was breaking away, but I made a little bit of a mistake. So you can actually see the meat on the canvas, the bare canvas right here, baby. Oh. You know when you have a little bruise growing up and you hit the white meat, that's the white canvas. Anywho, I'm pretty sure I know why this canvas did not dry well. I am surprised. I thought I had got enough paint off the canvas, and I think it would have been okay, but having it dry on this tray here does not allow a lot of air to get under the bottom of my canvas. And because of the type of paint, this is a faster drying paint. So what happened was it began to dry at different levels. Or speed, excuse me, not levels. So either the top or lower layer started to dry before the other part, which created these big rivets and cracks. Now, while the paint was separating, I'm still not sure. I don't know if that was just like some random thing. But I can say that this gold is gorgeous. This is a pretty gold. I mean, it's shining. I mean, it really shines in person. And the composition is still there. I love that little corner with that gold. With that being said, I am trying to wrap this series up. I am addicted to ring pours. The first part of an addiction is admitting you have an addiction. But this must come to an end, and I'm rounding it up. I have about 5 more ring pours that I need to show you all that they've already been poured. I just need to put them on YouTube, and that is it. We are going to be done with ring pours or straight pours, whatever you want to call it. We're going to be done with all these kind of pours for a while. So if you want to see another experiment, I've got about 1 or 2 more in me, baby. You need to let me know in the comments. Love you guys to the moon and back. As always, do every single thing with love. Treat your friends, your family, and even your enemies with love. Have an amazing, productive day. Peace.